Might as well get going. It's a little after 7. All right. Cell phones off if you've got them, please. If you've got a microphone, push the little voice button so we can hear everybody well. And we've got 2 folks online. Perfect, right there, you're on. All right. Timing 7 o'clock. I will call the Drainage Commission meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
To the republic for which it stands,
under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, roll call, please. Dan Grant.
Here.
Frank Krylichuk.
Here.
Kevin Kirschman. Craig Hansen. Tom Bixler.
Present.
Sherry Lowe's. Here. David Healy.
Here.
Dylan Tackey.
Here.
Casey Cruz.
Casey.
Can you hear us, Casey? Is he on mute?
Sorry about that. I'm here.
Thank you. Good deal. Thank you. So we have done the call the meeting to order, the roll call items to be added to the agenda. We do have an item to be added. We are in need of a chair and a vice chair, as our previous positions are not on board anymore. So we do need to add that. So I'm going to add that as number 7, right under the declare conflict of interest. So we'll do that right before our first hearing. So, chair and vice chair. Any other items to be added to the agenda? There being none, I would entertain a motion to approve the amended agenda.
I'll make the motion and approve it.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve the amended agenda. Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Motion carries. Amended agenda is approved. Item number 5 under opening business, approve previous meeting minutes. I did have one thing at the very bottom. The motion to adjourn does not have a second. So I think we probably do need to put somebody in there. Otherwise, any other,
Sherry in there?
yeah, that's fine if everybody did.
She was there.
Well, she has to be, yeah, that'd be fine. Any other changes to the minutes? I'd entertain a motion to approve the March 24th minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to approve the minutes. Further discussion? All in favor say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Motion carries. Minutes are approved. Does anyone have a reason to abstain for a conflict of interest? There being none, I will declare that there are no conflicts of interest for either Eilers or Schmidt. And now we are at item 7, which was added. We need to nominate a new chair. Would anyone care to nominate someone?
I'll nominate Sherry Lowe's as chair.
Is that allowed to have a county commissioner serve as chair?
I
I think it's unusual.
Yeah, it's unusual. I've never heard that it's not allowed. But it'd probably be better if it was someone else.
Yep. Anyone else care to do it?
Casey, you want to do it?
Sure, I'll do it if someone wants me to.
I'll nominate, yeah, Frank here. I'll nominate Casey Cruz as chair then.
So I have a nomination for Casey Cruz to fill the seat of chair.
You want me to rescind my first one?
I don't think it was a motion.
Nah.
I don't think so. Any other nominations for a chair before we close nominations? All right, nominations are closed. We should vote, even though there's one. So all in favor of Casey Cruz as chair, say aye.
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 All opposed, nay. Casey Cruz, you are now our chair. Would you like to take over from here and open nominations for vice chair?
Sure, I can do that. Is there any nominations for vice chair for the Yankton County Drainage Commission? We'll open the floor for nominations.
So I don't know if you heard that or not, Casey, but David made a nomination for Frank to be vice chair.
So we have a nomination for Frank Kralichek to serve as vice chair for the Yankton County Drainage Commission. Any other nominations?
We don't see any.
Okay. Last call for nominations then. If there are none, I would ask that there be a motion for now I'm losing my terminology. Unanimous ballot, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Unanimous ballot cast for Frank Kralichek, and that nomination cease. Do I have a motion?
I will make that motion.
Do I have a second?
Second it.
Okay, I have a motion and a second that nomination cease, and we cast a unanimous ballot for Frank Kralichek to be the vice chair for the Yankton County Drainage Commission. All in favor signify by saying aye.
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 All opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Do we have any other offices to fill?
No, that is it.
Okay. Should we move then into, is that complete item 7? Sorry, I'm a little unprepared here.
Yes.
No, you're fine. We're completed, and now we're at the first hearing, so go ahead.
Okay, we'll open the hearing. It is time being 7:08. We'll open the hearing for the Gerald Eilers request. The applicant is requesting a drainage permit to install drain tile which outlets in a culvert at the property legally described as the northeast 1/4 of the northeast 1/4, excluding lot H1 and the south 1/2 northeast 1/4, section 4, township 95 north, range 56 west, hereinafter referred to as Central Township, County of Yankton, state of South Dakota. And is Gerald present?
Yeah, yes, he is.
Do we want Gerald to come up and speak to this?
Chad will be going in his place.
Chad Eilers is going to come to the podium.
So Chad Eilers, 4374 South Dakota Highway 46.
Before we get started here, Chad, I know these maps, both these, yours and Gary Schmidt's. Greg Schmidt's. This is that both your projects?
Well,
They have my project or are they different projects?
well, they're different projects,
But they're,
but we gotta have a right of way through Greg's for our part.
okay.
But then on, I think it's Greg's page, there's a tile that crosses into ours too.
Okay, we'll just keep them separate.
Okay. But yeah, they're two different
Yeah.
operations, yes.
So the Schmidt property is right in the middle of that project, correct? That's is it an 80?
That's the Schmidt project.
Right in the middle of it.
That's, yep.
And then yours are, is that
Well,
right?
no, hold on.
'Cause
Okay, this tile pipe.
Yep.
Right, we're not doing that part. So it's actually just that 40, there's a 40 of his. So this is actually Greg's project.
So Chad, correct, we're talking on the east side, the east side east. I think that's why I wanted to clarify it.
His is actually a 40 and then ours is.
So you guys are kind of combined together. That's why I asked that at the beginning, because I kind of thought it was differently.
But, yeah. So. Right, and this is my field.
Oh, this is your, okay.
So 30 and then this.
Yeah, alright. This is that,
This here is it.
for me, yeah.
So I'm not really
Worried about that.
It's just, it is probably.
This is bad, yeah.
Well, yeah, Cheryl.
Yeah, I know. I should say I know.
So this is the Eilers.
And this, yeah, it all runs to this over across Highway 46.
Okay. I'll explain this to you guys on the phone here.
Put it up there, do you?
No.
Oh,
I wonder if I can show a picture on there.
well, that's what I was.
Yeah.
They could share on the screen.
I can bring it up on the laptop from the county website.
So for you two at home, I'm gonna try and explain this. So if you go to the grid line field tile install, do you have that page in front of you?
Yes.
Yep, that's.
Okay.
Yes.
So do you see the yellow slanted line that, it must be a 6-inch pipe?
Yeah, it looks like a 6-inch according to the legend.
So everything to the west of that yellow line is not part of the discussion today. So to the west, there's like a blue and some more white pipe. That's not part of the discussion today.
Yeah.
That's our next permit.
Thank you.
Thank you for clarifying. Appreciate it.
Okay, well, it's not our discussion at 7 o'clock, we'll put it that way. So the other is what we're discussing.
So just so I'm clear, it's the 8-inch line and everything to the east.
Yep.
It's at 40 there.
Okay.
If you look at the wetland determination, you'll see Gerald Eiler's piece.
Yeah, that's great.
So it goes like this. This piece is Greg's piece. This is Gerald Eiler's. So this is the part that he's talking about. The only piece on that grid line paper that's not going to be permitted at all ever is this far west parcel.
Right.
But everything else will be discussed tonight. Gerald Eiler's is just.
So get back to my first question of the night. We bring these and talk about them together.
Well,
Because basically, Eilers has to dump into.
yeah, Eiler's will dump into Schmitz, and then it goes into a culvert across under the street to Game Fisher Park's land. And they don't, that's where the question comes in, is they don't have a waiver from Game Fisher Parks. So, and that's why they're here.
But to answer your question, you could certainly put them together as a project, as long as we have a motion for both.
All that again, but I'd like to discuss it together.
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Is that all right with you, Casey?
I think he's muted.
Oh, he's good. That's all right.
Maybe Frank, could you take the meeting for me? It's hard to hear here, and I do
Okay,
better if
I
I
can do
just
that.
unmute. Thank you.
guess somebody else will have to. Whatever.
Can I make a motion
So-
to combine the Greg Smith and?
Well, we don't need a motion to combine them. I think we can just discuss them, and then when it comes time to approve, we'll make a motion for each one of them.
I would think, that's
So, so what are the, overall, what are the concerns with this entire project?
yeah, exactly, okay. Jack, now you can come back up and, let's explain the whole project now, that we got that sorted out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
And if Greg wants to come up too, or steps in, go ahead, and step in and talk about it. So,
Oh, you can, I mean,
they're gonna make you for a record state your name and your address.
Greg Schmidt, 43646, South Dakota Highway 46.
Okay, why don't you just, between you and Chad, explain the project, where it's dumping.
Well, yeah, we want to drain our fields across, it all goes through that culvert anyway. So there's like 600+ acres that drain even to the west, south, east, it all drains to that culvert. And we're trying to take 60 or 80, maybe 160 acres and put some tile on it so it would drain better. So we're not adding any water to that culvert. We're just it's better, less silt and erosion and stuff like that.
The question is, game fishing parks involved in it?
Well, I don't know. Chad's been.
I guess maybe we step back, is that a blue line? I see on one of these pictures, there was a blue line outline. Is that culvert a blue line?
So not.
Well, that's a question I had for Jessica. Where's the blue line start? Does it start where the map shows? Does it start by the fence line? Where does it start? That's the biggest thing.
We have blue line map on one of those.
I can go grab a blue line map so you can see it, but it starts on Game Fish and Parks land about, I don't know, if I had to guess, maybe 100 feet from the culvert on their land, and then goes up to there.
Actually.
Yeah, yeah.
And then it's been previously ditched according to the wetland, or the NRCS man. To go that way. Down to 40, got these all the time. Yeah, this is gonna be this piece here, that will be the outlet for all of them. It shows that it was previously ditched before that. I guess the fact that it was already previously drained.
Yeah, I think it's been established that it does already drain, everything does already drain that way. You're not adding any water. You can change the timing somewhat, but that's not farmed or anything over there. I see minimal effect on dangerous parts. I guess it's going into a ravine. Now, the ravine, does that run all the way down to the river?
It actually runs through the game fishing parks. It actually, yeah, it runs through the game fishing parks for like less than a quarter mile, and it goes back into my property.
Oh, it does.
And then it crosses my property, and then it goes into the rights and then to the children.
Then that would all be blue.
Right.
How big is the culvert then? Just curious. Is it dumping into the culvert?
Yeah, they just replaced it when they did the road a few years ago. Yes, and like 36 or 40.
So it can handle it.
Yeah, it's like I said, it comes from the river rights from the west, and it all comes through that ditch, and it comes from the east, and it comes from all, there's 600 plus acres that drain to that culvert, and we're only tiling 160 or less.
So did Game Fish refuse to give you the right?
Yeah, I'll tell you, that is a sore subject, I think. I mean, we're working neighborly, asking permission. The Game Fish and Parks, they refuse to do anything. I had 3 phone calls, hour and a half. They wouldn't do nothing. They would not come look at it. They just absolutely told me against it. Well, the reason they made me a little mad is they told me on one phone call, tell Greg and Jerry, put it in all CRP. Well, I told them that's not gonna happen. Well, I told them, well, if you're gonna tell us how to farm, you cut your cedar trees. Well, then he really got mad. Well, I mean, the Game Fish and Parks is totally against it. I mean, they don't wanna do nothing with us.
Did they give you a reason why they were gonna?
Well, he just a policy.
It's just their policy, no matter what. I mean, if you just ask and it's their
What policy
policy.
is it of theirs that they're saying no to? What policy are they supposed to follow?
Drain
But
water.
the water's all going through that culvert anyway. We told them to come look at it. They won't, I mean, the creek is maybe 50 feet deep to begin with, where the water goes in, there ain't gonna be no wildlife drinking out of it or nothing else.
Well, one discussion, he was telling me that the seed tree, oh, that just runs away and it goes in the lakes and rivers, so he was blaming the seed treatment. Then he was blaming the fertilizer that we applied. Well, we just had, a couple inches of rain last week. Well, you don't think that went in the river? I mean, if the drain tile was down,
Actually, the drain tile,
yeah, it would leach into the dirt, go to the drain tile, instead of just running off the top of the dirt and running on top of the culvert. That's what.
It's gonna build you.
Yeah, exactly. If they don't see it that way, they think it's all good run.
I did talk to them, and I do have an image I can show you on my phone, but I did talk to them, and they did say it is their policy not to let anybody jam to their land. One of their concerns is the chemicals, and they had talked about offering maybe to have them do a retention pond, so that some of the chemicals will hopefully go down before they can control the drain into their land. They were gonna give them a call and have that be an option, but I don't. That's just what they had suggested, but I can show you where the blue line starts onto there.
Yeah.
So as this is State Highway 46, have you talked to the state DOT about dumping into their ditch so that it naturally goes through their culvert?
And as far as the DOT, no.
Okay,
From my point of view, I mean, it runs through the culvert anyway. And I figure that you're gonna lower the table of the water level, right? So if we get a 2-inch rain, there should be less water going under there.
yeah. Did we have that project on the corner of the Lesterville Road and Highway 81 where the state allowed them to dump in the right of way? Yeah.
Over on 46 and Mayfield, we dumped several times.
Not underneath the state highways.
No,
I dumped in like.
I'm not talking about under, just to dump right in their ditch and then let it go through the culvert, and you don't have to worry about this.
They want
you to do that.
That's what the state
They
wants.
want you to use their culvert.
We did it on Highway 50 several times. And he leads up on 40, back a couple of years on 50, he changed yours.
Well, actually,
We had done it on 81 before. We did that on I don't want to go there.
Oh.
No, we
I
did
thought
not.
I'm just wondering if it just plunks in the ditch, it's going there anyway.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're doing.
So,
You'd have to have this, you'd have to have the state permission to do that.
Let's see, they gave me a right of, what is it? Right way, occupy. Yes, yes.
With the end of your pipe.
Correct, yes.
if you left the pipe in your field.
Yeah, they still wanted some form, I don't remember exactly what they call it now. It's just basically telling them that you have a tile line here, so they know it's there.
Yeah, to me, that'd be probably, Game Fish isn't gonna allow it. It doesn't sound like they're ever gonna allow it. That just dump in the state's ditch, but you need permission to do that. So,
Yeah, you just want the state highway department.
Yeah, I mean,
More for it.
yeah.
to deal with them.
So-
Just give us a chance.
So if we can overcome that hurdle, are there other concerns with the project itself? And what it's draining, it looks like to me all the USDA NRCS paperwork's here.
Casey or Dylan, do you have any questions or
I was
thoughts?
Chad, who are you talking to from Game Fish and Parks that was, had those comments?
There's his first name's Ryan, I don't know how to say his last name, but it's W-E-N-D, I don't know how to spell the rest, but he's out of Sioux Falls.
Thank you.
Do you have any other questions or comments, Casey?
I wanted to add, I measured on Beacon, the distance, and it's more like 450 feet to that, from the culvert to there.
Oh, to the blue line,
Just like that.
okay, thank you.
Is it ravine from the?
Jessica, what did you say the distance was from the drainage or from the ditch to the blue line?
It's more like 450 feet.
450 feet.
Yep.
Okay.
Is a ravine from an outlet of the culvert down to?
Yes, it's very deep.
What I understand is.
Yes, it's a
Quite
very
a drop, I guess.
Yeah. It's probably
It's a ravine.
10-foot drop from the culvert.
Dylan, do you have any questions or comments?
I don't. I really understand most of it. Nothing that I guess I have too many questions about with it.
Sherry, what was your solution to the not having a easement across Game Fish and Parks land?
Well, in the past, we've approved projects that dump into the state right-of-way. So essentially, they're crossing the fence and dumping in the ditch near 46, 81, or 50. And then it just naturally drains where it would from there. And it sounds like this is already ditched in the field and documented that it was ditched to run to the state right-of-way. So what you are doing here is putting in drain tile and filling the ditch in, so it's level with the field, but the water is essentially going to run the same direction, over the same culvert it's currently going through. Is that,
Yes.
that all seems pretty fair. So
Yeah.
I guess my question was, in the past, we've simply allowed people to get permission from the state to dump tile into the ditch of a state highway. Can we do that here?
Again, refresh my memory, guys, but it seemed like that was once it got into the ditch, there was a direct access to a blue line. Here, it would still have to cross Game Fish and Parks land from the ditch culvert to get to the blue line. Is that correct?
Is that true on all, was that true on all of those projects you mentioned? I've only dealt with the one on the corner of Lesterville and 46.
Was that one wasn't in the blue line? The Lexington 46 one, was it? Casey, you were here.
Yeah, what?
The blue line was darn close, but it wasn't in the ditch of the state highway.
No, it was the road.
It was across the road.
That was a short gap.
Yeah,
road.
But they did get an easement to go there though.
I believe you're correct, Casey. I do. I believe you're correct on that.
You know, the one we had with Roger Nedved, of course, that wasn't a highway ditch, but that was a discharge that, you know, had to go down a ravine across that elk land, and they didn't get a, you know, that one. I don't know. Okay, thanks.
Was yours in the blue line?
200 feet to go to get to it.
Was the blue line on, we're talking on Healy's project by Mayfield there. Cause he dumped in the ditch, went into like a 40 inch culvert. Where the blue line started at?
Dropped into a ravine.
It dropped in
About 200 feet and then hit the blue line.
So, David, did you get permission from that
I
line
got
doing
an
it?
easement from that.
You did. Okay.
So on Healy's, he did get an easement on that, so.
So did you get all that, Casey?
Yep.
Okay, so it sounded like David had to get an easement as well. So if we were saying this is a similar project to those two, then we would require one from Game Fish. You follow that? You agree with that, Casey?
Yeah, well, that would be consistent with what I remember. Yep.
Only thing I would alter this one would be that it was previous.
It's previously ditched.
Was yours previously ditched?
Yeah.
Yeah, see, it was previously ditched.
And that filter. Say this looks like it was man-made drainage.
Yeah, it was natural, but I just,
Yeah, I think you-
I cleaned the water.
Cleaned it
out.
out, got this from there.
So if you had to pipe this outlet to the blue line on your property, how far would that be? You see where I'm going with that? So it's about 400 feet past the beginning.
Because the game fishing park's ground is about, what, quarter mile across? Or is it less than that, or is it?
Half a mile, isn't it? Half a mile. Yeah, about this.
Because you said that curves and goes back to your property and then to the colony.
The ravine, that's-
Yeah, so I'm just looking for a way to get around Game Fish and what that would cost you.
Oh, we got, we could say through my property that, they have to go through that. It's just not cost effective.
Anybody have any ideas?
I'd like to follow up with Game Fish and Parks, give them a call and see what the deal is here. But that's probably not helpful, but I just want to find out why Ryan is, but I don't know. Who did you talk to, Jessica?
I talked to Ryan as well.
Okay.
Jessica,
I guess I'd agree with Casey too. You know, just knowing that landscape in the ditch and how much water goes through there, I guess I don't know what the problem is, especially too if it goes back onto Greg's. It kind of throws me for a loop.
Tom had a question.
What is Brian's position?
Meeting all the criteria.
I'm not sure his official position, what the title is.
Well,
I might be able to do it. He is with them, but he was going through one of his superiors. I know he had been talking to him.
well, the reason why I asked is because from what I'm hearing on this, the easement is needed, and Ryan seems to be of the opinion that he is not going to given for his reasons. So I'm saying, if the easement is needed, then I think what the IRS need to do is they need to go and need to find somebody who is, I'll just say, higher than he is, and then explain their project to them, and then come back to us or get what they need through higher authority. Because from what I'm hearing, Ryan does not seem to want to move here, and I'm hearing nothing but I'm just going to say everybody seems to be upset at Ryan. So I think what you need to do is you need to go to Ryan's superiors. And if I was in your position, I would go as high up as I possibly could. I wouldn't just go, this person's position is superior just compared to Ryan's position. I would go up as high as I possibly could and then explain your project to them. And then hopefully they can, they'll either agree with Ryan, which you guys won't like, or you can say to them, or they will say to you, your project has merit. And I think that's what you need. Does the rest of the commission agree?
We told them to come down and look at it. If you see the creek, you can understand it. They won't even come look at it.
Is there a
Talking to
reason?
them was like talking to that podium.
Is there a reason why they won't come down?
Don't ask me if I could feed their deer and wildlife all winter, it's okay, but. And I do.
So it's their, what you're told is, it's their policy about, no questions asked.
Well, I don't see what, I
No
don't
questions asked if it runs through Yankton Parks, it's
see, I see
policy.
you're saying it's policy. I don't see what policy it is that they're following. That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
So, get back to this. You said you talked to this Ryan, he wanted a biofilter.
Retention.
A retention pond, just.
He wanted to slow it down, basically, going into their property.
What kind of retention pond? Pond, basically a tank, and then when the tank overflows, it goes on.
Something that they could control when it flows.
Probably, I'm guessing a holding pond with a pipe.
Well, all I'm saying is it could be a big 6,000 gallon tank, but it goes over. Or you could shut it off, turn it on, or whatever.
Right.
Is that kind of what they're talking about, or did you just?
Something, I mean, he was gonna call them and talk to them, it would be at their expense.
Right, but I'm trying to find a figure a solution out here.
Yeah.
What the retention is it you turn a pipe off and on, Chad?
I'm guessing a fair amount because they said they probably have to go to James River and try and get extra funding.
Oh,
So
so they're looking at building a dam.
more or less, that's the impression I got.
Yeah, we didn't get into it too much because he wanted to talk to Chad about it.
Okay, Chad.
Well, all I gotta say is, like, a couple of weeks ago, we got like 2.5 inches. Well, it doesn't matter if you slow it down, 2 inches of rain, I mean, it was running over his driveway because the culvert's not big enough. And I mean, the culvert underneath the highway can handle it. I mean, as far as they're slowing it down, it's kind of stupid.
Well, what I was saying is that sometimes they like to build.
I gotcha.
Basically, this size of a room, take a big gap, won't dig a hole.
But, okay,
And then, let the tile out.
Pump it out as
And then when the water gets that high, then it flows naturally.
Yeah.
But you still would probably need an easement from the Game Fish Park, but you need the Game Fish Park canopy that you build, which I know is a couple $1,000 or $5,000 to build something like that. You lose 1/10 of an acre, but
Water's all going there now.
yeah,
I know,
I mean, it's dumb to build a. I might as well leave it the way it is and let them get water.
I think,
I mean, you guys go look at it.
well, I know exactly where it's at, right in the corner of the highway there. I'm trying to look for a solution.
game fish parks wouldn't even, they wouldn't even come out and look at it. I mean, we tried to explain it. You wanna look at it, no, that's our policy.
Hey, Casey, I hate to put you on the spot, but is there a way for them to get game fish park out there or come to a solution to this thing?
You know, I work with those guys in my professional capacity. So why don't you let me give them a call and see if I can negotiate something here, see what's up. It just seems to be that it's, I don't know, this is a little bit, somebody's drawn a line in the sand here, and that shouldn't be. And it's really hard for me to see, how we get around not having an easement from them for this project. So if folks don't mind, Chad, I'll touch base with you, but just first I'll give Ryan, and I also know his supervisor pretty well, and could visit with them and say, hey, we got a project here we need to try to get done, and what's up. So I'm not saying that I'm going to change their policy or anything. I don't work for game fishing parks, but I certainly know those guys pretty well and see if I can do something.
All we've asked for is if they come out, meet with us and look at it.
They refused.
Yeah, but it was.
Well, I can make that happen if that's what we want.
Yeah, that would be great.
So essentially, both of these applications depend on the outcome of that meeting.
Motion to table the application. You see that's an opportunity to file for the beach parks.
Both of them.
I would say both of them.
I will second that.
Okay, on the floor here, I have a motion from Healy to table these till next month or a later date. Till after they speak with Game Fish and Parks and see if we can come to a resolutions. And I think we figured some people that can help you. And it was seconded by Sherry Lowe's. Any other discussion? Do we want to wait for Tom? Because I think Tom was heading that direction anyway. We get comes back.
I don't know. Before he left, he said he supported the application.
Okay.
So I would think he would support tabling it.
Okay. I think we don't have folks anyway. Right. Yeah, okay. Any other comments?
No, but when we do meet again, we do need to make public comment on it. So,
I guess we should do public comment.
well, it's probably better to figure out what the game fish answer is before we do that.
Okay. I think we'll do a roll call vote then on that, to table it.
Okay.
Or is it continue? How do we decide here if we? All right, let's do that.
We can table.
We can table. Okay.
All right. Grant? Krylicek?
Yes.
Bixler? Loest?
Yes.
Healy?
Yes.
Tacky?
I guess I'm having a hard time hearing what are we voting on exactly. I just want to make sure that I know.
To table it until they meet with the state.
Oh, okay. Yes. To figure out exactly what their policies are and furthermore, and why they don't want it to go on.
Correct.
Right. Okay.
So we're tabling the permit till a later date.
Oh.
Okay.
For both permits.
Okay. Then yes.
Cruz.
Yes.
Okay, I guess it was that motion has passed, and we're just going to table it to a later permit, and then I think Casey, I get a hold of Casey and see if he can help you out a little bit, and keep trying to get this started.
Say, Frank, my phone's about ready to die. If you lose me, I'll be signing off.
Okay, sounds good. Thank you. I think we're about, do we have any other business on that agenda?
Just general public comment.
Nothing. Get a motion to adjourn. Make a motion to adjourn. Okay, I got a motion to adjourn from Ely. I got a second from Grant. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Say, Chad, I'll give you a call.
Okay.
He has my number, or?
I'll get it.
We'll get it to you.
Sounds good. I think I know are you in the phone book?
No, I'm not.
We'll email it to you.
We'll get it
All right.
to you.
Yeah, we won't.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Exactly.